So today we have one of the most exciting reviews I have done. I have the OnePlus 10 Pro, which I've been using for more than 2 weeks now. I've been really heavily testing its camera array. I'm gonna tell you all about my experiences today with the phone, with the cameras, and I wanna begin with something before I even talk about the specs. Just a shot that I took a while ago, I think like 2 days ago, just to show you guys how amazing the camera, the primary camera on this phone is. And like you can see right now, this is slow motion 1080p, but just take a look at how beautiful the bokeh or the depth of field, the blurry background is when you take close-up video shots with this mobile phone. It's the best I have seen up until now, and I've reviewed so many phones, believe me. So after seeing this, I want to go back and just show you guys the phone itself, because I think it's an amazing mobile phone, and you do get a lot once you actually buy this. The screen size here is 6.7 inch, which is kind of large. So many people that watch my reviews and actually see that I tell people, hey, you know, this is an amazing phone. Sometimes they actually buy the phone and then they feel that it's maybe too large for them, and this is definitely a phone that's gonna be too large for many people. So you want to make sure that you already held a 6.7 inch phone. The resolution on this screen is really high. We are talking about 2K, and it has a very high pixels per inch, 525 ppi, which is a lot. So you really feel like you get all the details you would want when looking at images or videos, when watching videos on this mobile phone. The interesting part of this phone, the most interesting part for me at least, is this camera array, which also has the Hasselblad signature over here on the side. So the thing here is that Hasselblad made the color calibration on this, and you really feel that when you take pictures and photos, which we will take a look at in a moment. The big thing here is the primary camera, which is a 48 megapixel f1.8 with a large sensor of 1.43 inch, and I think with the OIS on it, it's probably one of the best cameras I've seen on a mobile phone. So without further ado, let's just take a look at some of the images that I captured, because I went out for the past 2 weeks and took a lot of photos and videos for you guys, just to show you how amazing the primary camera on this. So first things first, when I actually got the phone, I took this photo of the box just to see the depth of field on the primary camera, and as you can see, you do get a lot of background blur. This is something that you will see on our next photos, and it's really important because we will take a look at how sometimes this is not a good thing. And this is because you have a large sensor. So the 3 cameras on the device is basically the primary camera, the ultra wide, and the telephoto. And as you can see, the telephoto is probably not the best when you take a look at these 3 on the back part of the phone. It's an 8 megapixel f2.4, and it's a 3.3 zoom camera, but you do get not many details on this. So when you zoom in digitally, you see that there is a lot of sharpening and not that much details. When you go back and look at the ultra wide, you'll see that this is actually a good camera. We get the 50 megapixels on it. It's an f2.2, but the sensor here is kind of large. It's a 1 on 2.76 inch size sensor, so it's not really good for night shots, and we will take a look at it in a moment. And this is the amazing primary camera, 48 megapixels. You can really zoom in and get a lot of details. I love this camera. You'll see in a moment, gets the job done, gets a lot of depth of field. Even when I take this photo, for example, of an object which is not that close to me, you'll see that the background gets blurry, and that gives you a lot of cinematic look to your photos and videos. Here's another sample of this, and I am doing this video in multiple languages, so sorry if I screw up the English language. I am trying my best just to deliver my experiences with the phone, and I'm gonna do really heavily invested camera review now, and after that we'll talk about some of the other specs of the phone. With this phone or this camera, you can actually, the primary camera, you can actually take some photos that you won't get blurry background with it. But to do that, you will have to go a bit far away from the object. And this is a wide angle lens. It's a 33mm equivalent. So everything is kinda, you get a lot in the shot when you take photos with this. So I did take some photos of myself, as you can see over here. And the photos are amazing. Really feels like DSLR like. If you do use the great portrait mode on this, you'll see that OnePlus did a great job with that, and it really gets the job done as if you would use a DSLR to take a portrait. I love this photo, and it was taken with the portrait mode on the phone. So here is a 3 sample photo of me just taking nature shot. As you can see, that's the zoom, and that's the primary, and that's the ultra wide. So no blurriness on the ultra wide. That's something that you would want obviously with the ultra wide camera. And when zooming in, you'll see the main camera gets the background blurry even when I'm far away from the object. This is due to the large sensor that we talked about. And this is the zoom, which also gets us a bit of blurry background. So let's just look at some of the nature shots that I took. I think this phone gets the job done amazingly well for anybody who gets some nature shots. And after some food, I'm gonna go back to the nature shots, which I forgot. I did take some food shots because I know many of you guys also take a lot of photos of food. One thing I do want to note here is that because you have a large sensor, you're gonna get a lot of depth of field. So when taking photos of food, you really want to make sure that you get the focus right with this camera, the primary lens, because if you don't, you're gonna get the blurry part where you want to have the focus on. So you need to make sure that the focus is on the spot. For example, on this shot, you'll see that the background is blurry, and also the object closer to you is blurry. So this is something that you usually don't see with many phones, and that's because on this phone you do get this large sensor. You get a lot of blurriness even when the object is too close to you and when it's far away. On this shot, for example, I did get the focus a bit closer to me, but still this part is blurry. And this is something you really want to make sure that you get right when taking food shots with this primary camera. Moving on to night shots and a bit of nature. So we saw this plant before. This time I actually am focused on the background, and look at how amazing we get the background here. During a night shot, we get a lot of detail, not that much noise, and the closer object is blurred. That's because we are focusing on the background. When using the telephoto lens, the ultra wide lens, you'll see that the photo is not as good. We don't get that much of details on the background or on the object that's closer to us. And that's not something that I like, and that's because obviously we have a larger sensor here, and we want to use the primary camera when we take photos like this. And the zoom camera, same thing, not many details, doesn't get the job done. So moving forward, we have some more night shots. Everything just looks amazing with the primary camera. It feels like a DSLR, gets the job done amazingly well. Just look at how amazing this photo of this super thin building is. And I also took that photo with the ultra wide. Just take a look at how different we get. A lot less details, lots of blurriness. Ultra wide doesn't do justice to this phone in night mode. Here's another photo, as you can see, not in English, my local language over here, but just take a look at how amazing this photo is in night, in a night shot. So here's some more photos of bokeh, and now I'm gonna test out a bit of the selfie camera. So you do get a lot of details on it. It's a 32 megapixel selfie camera, f2.2, not the largest sensor, so it's you're not gonna get a lot of background blur, not even that much, as you can see here. So that's something you really want to make note of. I have seen selfie cameras that do give you some background blur, but this is something that I didn't get with this selfie camera. There's a 150 degrees camera mode here, and with the ultra wide you can take shots like this. This is the entire garden in one image, and I love this photo. It looks amazing. Here's some more shots of the dogs. Even in this photo you can see blurry background, even though I didn't meant to use it for a portrait shot. And here's some more of that nature shots I promised you guys, and you can just see how amazing the photos are. Even when you zoom in, you get a lot of detail and quality, blurry background, really cinematic. Just take a look at this. I mean, wow. Wow. The camera here, the primary camera here is amazing. Some more nature shots of the garden, as you can see. Just shots. If you need to pause the video, just pause the video to look at the different bokeh styles over here, but it's just awesome. You get a lot of photos you could easily use for your wallpaper. Some of my cats and dogs, and I really love this one. You can really see the depth of field. He was really up close, and even his nose is a bit blurry, so the focus was on the eyes, almost on the eyes over here, and it's an amazing photo. Some more food shots, and as you can see over here, gives you that wide look still with depth of field on it. And nature shots again, this time 3 different cameras, zoom and the primary and the ultra wide. I think that the zoom is the last one you want to use in shots like this, because you don't get that much of a detail. So for example, when I took these 3 photos, that was the zoom. I was standing up here, that's the ultra wide, primary camera is this one, and the zoom is this one. So you can get up close with the zoom, but you don't get that much of detail. And I have some really cool nature shots coming up, like this one and this one, which is awesome. I love this one. It just shows you how the colors are amazing. And even though I was taking this shot in sunlight, almost direct sunlight, you see that I get a lot of details on the sky and on the nature and the background, and this is just awesome. Just look at the colors over here in this photo, not too saturated like you see on many phones these days. I also went to one of the biggest events for car expos in my country. 3 different shots. This is the zoom, primary and ultra wide. All of them were great. Some more ultra wide photos over here, and I just love the quality of these photos that I got in the convention. I could really deliver when like taking photos even without DSLR, just showing some background blur, showing some of the in this example the motorcycles on it, a lot of details on what's ever in focus, and the background blurred, not too much but enough to get this photo I mean looking good. When the object is a bit far away, like in this case, you can see that the blurred background doesn't exist, so there is a distance where you want to stand if you want to get the photo to have no blur at all. For example, in this Corvette example, you can see everything is not blurry. With a DSLR you could probably get some things blurred, but this is an example of a situation where I did get some blurry background, for example with this drone, which is awesome. So yeah, a lot of photos, as you can see. In this case I was focusing on the tablet. And moving on, I just want to show you some night shots of my food. This is a McDonald's local version. In night mode, you won't get that many details, so this is something that you want to make note of, especially when talking about colors. You want to add saturation to this if you want to have the photos look good. Here's another nature shot, and that's another 150-degree shot of me just having my barbecue, as you can see, and we will take a look at videos right now. So I hope you enjoyed these shots, some desserts, some food. I really hope you guys ate before you watch this review. If you liked my samples, definitely press the like button down below so I can see your support for my photos. Here's an interesting photo I want to talk about. When taking selfies with this phone in night mode, you get this light, as you can see, reflection on me, which is due to the screen basically turning on flash mode, which gets the screen white. It works well, I like that, and this is something that could get me this photo, which is really not bad. And when not using this, you could see that I get a lot less details with the selfie camera, as it's using a large sensor. So primary camera, again, lots of blurriness even in low light. So we're not gonna do that too much food shots for you guys, but here's a great photo of my dog, As you can see, a lot of details. I love the way the photos are with this camera. It's just awesome. So this is the primary camera, of course, another food shot. So we're gonna move on to videos now, and videos is a big thing with this. So you can definitely take high resolution videos with this. We're talking 8K 24 FPS, but for the purposes of this review I used 30 FPS 4K, so I can get everything probably the way that you guys would have taken if you would taken videos with this phone. So for example, first things first, I want to take a night video shots over here, and I just want to show you something that happened with this phone, which is really weird. As you can see, there's a bit of a jitter on it. So this is not something I liked. It's probably due to using the OIS, probably with an gyro EIS combined, who knows, but something really messed up the stabilization on this video while I was walking here. So this is a low light situation. I did zoom in. This is still using the primary camera when zooming in, but when zooming out, you'll see me switching to the telephoto on the phone, and then you will see that the ultra wide is not really that good on night video mode. As you can see here, not much of details. The amazing thing you can do with the camera here, beyond just using the primary camera, is just using it to capture slow motion, as you can see right now. So the video gets recorded in slow motion. You don't have to edit it afterwards, and that's something that's awesome. And I could actually record. I didn't see any time limit on it, so I did get this amazing shot of my dog, as you can see. And I love the way that you could capture really slow motion with this camera, and you do get a lot of details on it. It's not as good as taking a 1080p 30 FPS video, which we will take a look at in a moment, but you do get a lot of details compared to other phones I tested with slow motion. Here's another slow motion video of the birds, and I'm gonna show you just one of them in mid-flight, because then you could easily see how amazing this slow motion is. But the thing is, you do have to capture the moment here, which is kind of hard. So yeah, a lot of action going on. Oh, here it is. Here's the flight in slow motion. Yeah, I had to capture that, so I waited around for that to happen. Yeah, it's amazing. Just take a look at this. Oh my god, yeah, so awesome. So yeah, we did see this shot already, and here's another shot. This is not in slow motion. As you can see, there's going to be more details in this shot because it's not in slow motion. It's a 4K 30. Here we got the spoon falling over here. When taking shots of objects far away, one thing I don't like with all of the phones I tested is that zooming in really messes up focus, and in this case I also had this problem. I zoomed in on this plane. As you can see, I live very close to an airport, and then you lose focus for some reason. It jumps all over the place, and this is something that I saw also with other phones, so I hate that. There's also a dual video mode over here that basically captures the front facing camera and the back facing camera. So if you want to showcase yourself talking about something, you can do that. You can really tweak how people are going to see you on the video, whether it's a small box or, like in this case, 50-50. Just an awesome feature. I did take some videos in the convention. One of the videos I really liked is this one of this motorcycle jumping on the platform in slow motion. That's something I could easily use in social media, and definitely something that I really thought was one of the most amazing things I recorded. You can zoom in a bit digitally nowadays if you want to, like, for example, enlarge the motorcycle, because he was a bit far away and I couldn't get closer to him. But having someone jump on a motorcycle for 2 seconds or maybe 1 second, and having recorded that in 10 or 20 seconds, it's just awesome. I just want to show you how fast this was. This is without slow motion. Just take a look. It's a 2-second video, and when recording in slow motion, you get that in 20 seconds, and it's awesome. It's really awesome. So moving on, I got another video here with I think that's the ultra wide slow motion. Looks really awesome. Just looks really awesome. This is the grill we talked about. Some more videos of food, and obviously blurry background, everything you would expect. I love it. I'm not gonna do too much full shots for you guys because we've seen so many already. I hope you guys are okay with that. So the second thing I tested while using this phone for 2 weeks was its processing power, which is an important thing for me as I usually play a lot of Genshin Impact on my mobile phone. And one thing surprised me, as I already tested a lot of phones, flagship phones from the recent generation, is the results I got when testing this phone. So the OnePlus 10 Pro is over here, and as you can see, I have two more phones that I have the results, the Xiaomi 12 and the Red Magic 7, both of them with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. That's the newest and best processor you can get as of the time I'm making this video. It has the Adreno 730 GPU on it, and one thing I saw is that I get low scores on Geekbench, so it's better than what I got with last year's mobile phones, but it's not as good as what I got, for example, with the Red Magic or the Xiaomi 12. I got with a single score performance of a 1237 on the Xiaomi 12, or actually 1237, that's how you say it, or 1244 with the Red Magic, and with the OnePlus 10 Pro I got 979, so that's more than 200 points less, which I don't get why. I don't know why. Also a lower score on the multi-core, but when moving into testing with 3D Mark, that's where things got interesting, because here I actually got good results. So I did get higher frame rates than the Xiaomi 12, and I did get higher frame rates than the last year's model from Xiaomi, at least with the 888, but I got good scores. I mean, I got almost as good as the Red Magic. I got 58 FPS on it with a score of 9,736. So good scores in 3D Mark. With Wildlife, not as good with Geekbench. And then I switched to test out the Antutu, where I saw, here again, some surprises. So the score here is 875,000, okay, when I got a million, more than a million with the Red Magic. So I don't know what's going on here. Score goes down with Antutu, goes down with Geekbench, and then it's okay with 3D Mark. And I also got this phone to heat up a lot, so you definitely want to use the cover, which we'll talk about in a moment. And I also lost a lot of battery, 5% battery with the Antutu test. So we do get the the Oxygen OS 12 here, and I'm gonna talk about it in a moment because it's awesome. And the thing is, I really don't know why I did get low scores on it. I really don't know. But when actually testing the operating system, I gotta tell you guys, I loved the operating system. I just gonna switch on the phone and just show you guys how awesome it is. So the operating system on this has some neat features. For example, one of the neat features I really liked is the enhanced dark mode. So for example, when you do have photos on this, you get like this kind of enhanced colors on them. That's because this operating system enhances them. And I also have all the widgets and all of the new features that they have on this operating system, which really works well. I mean, I have a lot of testing with the MIUI from Xiaomi, and I actually liked what I got with this operating system. We did talk a lot about the camera array, which is a grill-based design, as you can see over here, and I like that. I mean, a lot of people definitely had some issues with that. For some reason, I didn't. You definitely want to use the cover, so that's the thing. You get the cover for free when getting this phone. You get the charger, which is a fast charger. We are talking about, depends on where you buy this. I'm going to put links in the video description, but you can get this with a 65 watt fast charger or with an 80 watt. And also you do get the screen protector built in already on the phone. So that's nice in a day and age where some companies don't give you that. So you get everything you need, but you definitely don't want to use the phone without this cover on it because it really heats up when playing games. And also one thing that's really unique to OnePlus is that you do get the switch over here if you want to silence the phone. So when pressing on the switch, you basically silence the phone without even turning it on. So that's a neat feature. Another thing I want to talk about is that this phone or this display also has LTPO2 version 2 on it, and LTPO basically changes the refresh rate on the phone dynamically, but the version 2 doesn't exist on many phones, for example on Xiaomi's 12. So that means, for example, that you're gonna save a lot of battery life, and it's gonna be really fast in the way that the phone handles the change from 1 Hz to 120 Hz, and that's just awesome. And many phones don't have that, as this phone has 120 Hertz on it. You could really decrease the battery life when using this mode. So yeah, let's just take a look at the specs. I'm just going to show you guys. I don't want to read the specs aloud like many reviewers do. I just want to tell you guys about my experiences with it. We did talk about the display and the high resolution. I would definitely use this phone with 1080p and not just use the 2K, because I think you're gonna see everything really awesome with 1080. You don't need that 525 ppi unless you're really into showing people how amazingly beautiful you could get and crisp when talking about your screen. So we did talk about the processor here, which is an 8 Gen 1 Snapdragon, and the Oxygen OS operating system. The version I was testing was the 256 gigabytes, 12 gigabytes of RAM. I really recommend this one. The 128 doesn't really do justice these days, if you ask me. And we did talk about the camera array, so that's good enough. The selfie camera, you do get Wi-Fi 6 on it, so it doesn't seem like there is Wi-Fi 6E, but Wi-Fi 6 does exist, and Bluetooth 5.2, which is awesome. And the USB connection is a Type-C 3.1, which means that you're gonna get fast transfer speeds if you are like me, moving files around from your phone to your computer. Now the battery here is a big thing, because not many flagships these days come with a 5000 mAh battery, and this is something that you're gonna get here, which definitely will last you for an all-day usage, which is something that I'm doing with my mobile phone. So all in all, we did talk about everything. Just made sure that using GSM Arena, a site that I love, and I also like the reviews, by the way. And that's it, guys. If you haven't subscribed already, maybe you want to subscribe so you want to see my future gadget reviews, because I have the Xiaomi 12 Pro over here, which I started testing after I got this guy. So if you want to see that review, definitely click on the red subscribe button so you can stick with me for my future reviews. I'm gonna put 2 reviews over here for you to watch if you like this one, for phones that are really on the same price range as this OnePlus, and links for more information and updated pricing for the OnePlus 10 Pro. Thank you very much for watching. Here's another video review over here and the option to subscribe. I was Rotordil. I'll see you on my future reviews. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.